Okay, gang, good morning, good morning. 8 o'clock again. It sure comes around quickly. It sure comes around fast. All right, what do we got today? What do we got? It's still raining, but we are near the end of it. We are finally near the end of it, if you can believe the weather reports. Already at the western side of the country now, they are talking about summer skies, hot weather, and clear. And we're scheduled for that. It's what they call the, Bayou Zinzendorf or whatever. It comes up the country and it's nearly here. So this could be the last time you'll see rain here for a while. Maybe. I have mixed feelings about it, when the summer weather does get here, it's going to be stinky hot, just hot, so hot it just drags you down and you don't want to move. This weather is fairly mild. The problem is it's damp. Everything is damp. I went to visit the Ome place the other day and my God, stuff is damp. Okay, what's on schedule for today? The main work is going to be carving. We'll get back to those boys, and I guess if things go well, if I don't waste too much time with other stuff, we'll finish the block today. We'll do some more chiseling around, do some more persuading, finish the block. We have show and tell, 3 items at the end of the stream today, 3 packages that have arrived that I haven't opened yet. 2 from Japan and 1 from the Netherlands. I have no idea. We'll have a look and see. But before we do, just one quick. I've got to get this. This arrived from our printer, Chiharu-san. And later on today, I'll be checking these, sending through to Ome. These are subscription prints. Not the newest one. These are back number subscription prints. Those 2 girls go by, don't they? These are elementary school students. They're not, the red satchel tells you their status. Okay, this is just simply whatever. It's a deck of subscription prints. It's a back issue. It's from last year's series. And this is from Chiharu-san, Kawaii Chiharu-san. And we are still, there's tons and tons of orders for last year's series still coming through. And she's done another nice job. These always just look so cool. Let's zoom in a bit. Jed and I struggled, whatever. We batted around the concept for this for a long time. I think it originally was born as a February print. And we didn't fit it in February, so we scheduled it for later in the year and changed the color of some of the leaves to make that work and whatever. I don't know if it's actually totally successful in seasonal aspect, but it's beautiful enough for me, whatever. And this is a real kind of scene. These places do exist. I've never been to this particular onsen. I don't know where it is, but this is a thing here in Japan. This is a thing. And she's done a very nice job. This, of course, there's a person barely visible in the water. And the usual kind of 1 by 1 by 1 by 1, exactly the same color. She's probably, I didn't think about it, there's probably a batch. Yeah, here they are, look at this. She's given us a batch at the back. She's given me a batch at the back with a corner cut. She herself has chopped the corner off these, saying by her own standards, these should not be sent out. Perhaps there she was doing the color testing, maybe there's some misregistration. And it's frequently the same thing. When I look at them, why has she cut the corner? It's not always so easy to tell what was wrong. I don't know. But anyway, it's her word for it. Paper defects. There's a hair in the paper. Yeah, color's too light on the skin, maybe. These are ones she used just for warm-up copies, but we're not ready. It doesn't matter. She said no, so I'll just take her word for it. And then I myself will go through this pack looking for stuff that she may not have seen. And that's tough, There's like 80 prints here. And going through 80 prints, and I've got to check each one. Is the registration okay? Does the color match the sample? Blah, blah, blah. Hold each one up to the light, see if there's bark. After a few minutes, your mind just goes, okay, okay, okay. And you tend to start shuffling. All right, okay, 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 okay. And the end result of that is that at some point down the line, there's a claim. Something gets through because I was just too blah, 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 blah with it. You know, these are nice, these are nice, these are nice, these are nice. And stuff gets through. So we do get claims, people. In fact, there's 2 or 3 claims at the moment in my mailbox waiting for attention. Okay, let's get to work. We are getting a new tank sometime this month. You work for the Army? Do the checking in smaller batches, whatever, organizing work, you know, there's a million things to do. I know, I remember doing it that way when I was doing my Seasons series, the Solitudes things. I had to sign each one. And signing is really, really tough. You can sign 1 and 2 and 3, but after you've signed 10 or 15 or 20, you can't do it anymore. Just your pen seems to do some funny things. And the point of signing is they're supposed to look all the same. So I did that in batches. Otherwise, it just couldn't get done. So, okay, where are we? I forget. We've done some persuading. Okay, a bit more clearing with the chisels, and then we'll do more persuading. Back and forth, back and forth. Let's get the calligraphy. I don't have the calligraphy yet. I haven't even asked the lady for it. You know, all through the years when I was making my own subscription series, there was a specific lady who had subscribed to my poet series years and years before that. And she did my calligraphy. She was a calligraphy teacher, professional calligrapher and calligraphy teacher. And she volunteered once upon a time to do this, and I asked her to do it. And for years and years and years, she did that. But this has now been waiting for 5 years. So I am now in a bit of a bind, a bit of a quandary. If I just phone her up or write to her, or it'll be phone, there's no email with a lady like that. It'll be phone, but there's been 5 years and she was quite elderly, her husband was more elderly. And it's difficult to not communicate with someone like that for 5 years and all of a sudden say, hey, hi, can you do me a favor? So I'm a bit of it, I've procrastinated and procrastinated about that part of this. And I am now getting to the part where I need to make a decision on what to do. Very, very nice lady. Yeah, start with Hisashiburi, of course, and then what do I say next? You know, are you still alive or whatever? The thing is, it's really impolite, the show. I mean, the only time I call her, like in 5 years, is when I need a favor, you know. And of course, you know, it wasn't a question. I'm not asking for a favor. I'm asking to hire her, you know, to do this, because she's a professional calligrapher. But because she was a supporter and a customer, she said, no, don't even think about money. Don't even think about money. So it's an awkward situation, you know. It's my own fault. I should have kept in touch with her. Another way through it would be to forget that, find a local person here, another calligrapher to do the work. But my God, and if I did that and she ever found out about it, if she's still alive or whatever, that would be awful. That would be way worse. So the only chance, I've just got to phone her and confess my sins and now this one's a bit of a trouble spot. I know, the reason is this. They're the wood grain side to side. And when I was doing the rough clearing the other day with the big chisel, I learned that the wood grain on this one is angled in such a way inside the block that when you take the chisel and scoop this way, it comes out nice and smooth. When you take the chisel this way, it falls into the grain. So we want to do the scooping and everything this direction. Out here, that's okay. But now here at the edge of this boy's body, we have the leftover wood that needs to be taken off. And because of the angle of the drawing here, I want to go down this way so that the angle of my chisel, as I make each scoop, pulls away from his body. Far, far less risk of damaging it. If I come up here, then everything I do is scooping towards the carved lines, and much, much more risk of damaging it. But the wood wants me to go this way. No way around it. I'm going to have to go the wrong grain way, and the way we get around that is three things. Super sharp chisel, only a tiny bit at a time cut away. It's leaving a bad surface because it's cutting the wrong way here. But only a tiny bit at a time. And second is pushing down on the surface. If we don't push on, it just runs straight into the wood. Keep it at a low angle, slice it off. And it's not going to look really pretty when it's done, but the boy will survive. It's especially bad in boxwood. Cherry you can get away with it. Boxwood just wants to split. So I'm sorry, it's not so interesting. Just boring little by little by little, chippy, 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 but that's the only way to do this. The lady I was talking about, the calligraphy lady, she was so nice. Yeah, is, whatever. She was a supporter for all through the poetry series, the Hyakunin-shu, the poet series. And I'm not sure how much I can speak in public, I guess. It's okay, perhaps, unless she'll never hear this. Her husband was working in a university, and he got a job as a language teacher, professor, as in literature, Japanese literature professor. And he got this, interesting, on the basis of something that happened to him when he was very young. We all know about the Nobel Prizes and stuff around the world. There's prizes for science and whatever. And among them, there's one for literature. Well, Japan has its own sort of version of that sort of a prize for literature. I can't pronounce the word Akutagawa Shokan, I think it is. It's been going for a long, 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 long time, many, many, many decades, before I was born. And it's the big deal here in the literary world in Japan. And it turns out that one time, many, many years ago, this lady, the young man she knew, he got a book he had written, I guess quite an experimental novel or whatever, literature, and he was nominated. He was in the group of 4 or 5 people that were nominated for this one year. And we're talking about back in the 1950s, I guess, or something like this, I don't know. Anyway, long story short, he didn't actually get the prize that year, and never did, but on the strength of the fact that he was nominated for it, he got a job with a university and stuff like that, and became a something in the Japanese literary scene. And that was the end of his career. That was it. That's all he ever got done and accomplished. And by the time I met him, many, many decades after this, he was, probably my age now, whatever. He still talked about this, and that's how he introduced himself. I was nominated for the blah, blah, blah. And he didn't actually get it, but he's been, I felt, what a kind of it was a wonderful thing to happen, and it was also turned out to be a tragedy. It sort of ended up shaping his entire life, and he got the job on the basis of this, and the students come every year. Well, he's a guy who was nominated for this prize. Very mixed feelings about that sort of stuff, So. That's all he could ever talk about. Every conversation had to come back to this thing. He must be long gone now. Okay, we got this problem. We want to be going this way, not this way. But now we get a problem. In this corner here, it's now so small that I can no longer get the chisel in here. So for this last little bit, I have got to come sideways, come the wrong way. And this is a dangerous part, absolutely a dangerous part. There we go. Okay, I think I've done all I can do with the chisels now. We're going to have to go back to the persuader. Remember the other day I started persuading, then switched to smaller chisels. So I think I'm going to have to go back to the persuader now. So prepare your volume controls. We are going to hammer. That's the expression we should have used. Let's get hammered. Dave probably doesn't know about an old Springsteen song called Glory Days. I don't actually, John. I've never been a Springsteen follower or knowledge about it. Is it about that? Somebody thinking and remembering back to something they did when they were younger? And I don't know. Maybe I'm doing the same thing. I don't know. Okay, for those of you who are new here, we are going to make a little bit of noise right now. It's not too dramatic. We have a limiter on the audio, but there is going to be banging. This is no longer, for the next few minutes, this is not going to be anything to do with ASMR or whatever. We're banging. So hang on to your whatever. Turn your volume down. Take your headphones off if necessary. This will take about 3 or 4 minutes, and then I will get back to the more quieter chisel working. Someone who peaked early and never moved past it. I guess that's a thing. I hope I've perhaps avoided that. I don't know. Okay, here we go. I'm going to also, too, we talk about the calligraphy. The calligraphy will be going in this box. I don't have a finished print to show, I'm sorry. The calligraphy will be going in this box. So I'm going to leave that area and clear more around the outside. So anyway, here we go. 2 or 3 minutes of noise, and then quiet work again. Down here it's the other way around. Up here, the grain wants to go this way. But down here, it's the other way around. Here it's the other way around. We're going to switch back and forth and back and forth. Look at this. This is not pretty. it's not a faulty piece of block, so there's knots, you know. I mean, we knew this when I picked it. This, I wanted a hard piece, not for a color block. And here, there's knots all through this, and the grain just swirls around whichever. So when we finish here, this is not going to be a pretty block like this stuff, but the wood will be out of the way. People who make like wood sculptures where the thing they are carving is the object to be finished, I don't know how on earth they handle stuff like this. Paper out, nice call now, John, 8:30. There's no paper out today, there doesn't need to be any. There's no printers here today. Yesterday, Ishikawa-san was here. Dei-chan is working at home right now this week. Ayumi-san's gone back to Hokkaido for the Obon Festival. And Ishikawa-san will be here tomorrow. So today, there's nobody working upstairs. It's just me here today. It's funny about Dei-chan, she's working at home today and yesterday. And she's at the last stage, the last 2 or 3 colors on the second cat, the 8 Views of Cat series, the second one. She's finishing that up. And I really wanted to be part of this, but she's taken the blocks and paper and she's gone home to do it. And I know why. It's because we had real go-arounds with the color blocks on this. And whatever, we've talked about it before. We'll talk about it again when we see the print next week. But the designer sent us a certain color breakdown, and we couldn't make it work with this. He doesn't have much experience at Shinhanger Print, so it's okay. So we carved another block, and then did this, and then threw that away and carved another block and 2 more. And we had a good color separation. She did some good testing, and we had it. I gave her the go-ahead. Go for this. Let's go. And I know exactly what's happened. Partway along, she's decided, and Chon-san's decided they'd like another little something. And they're doing it at home, because he's probably carved another couple of color blocks for this, and she's running another couple of colors. And if they'd been doing it here, I would have said, no, we're done. That was a beautiful sample. It's good enough, quote, good enough. You heard me say that. At some level, we have to say, cut, print. You cannot just keep carving blocks. And I know what they've done. They've taken it home, and they've carved another 1, 2, 3 blocks, whatever. I don't have any idea. And when I talk to them, when I see it and say, oh my God, it's beautiful, but how much is it going to cost me? They'll say, oh, it doesn't matter, you don't need to pay us. And that's irrelevant, because I do have to pay the next printer, and the next printer, and the next printer. So it's a bit of frustration. I know why they're working at home, and it's going to cause me trouble down the line. But we're going to have a print that you just won't believe when you see it. So both things are true. It'll be a beautiful print, but it's extremely frustrating business-wise. It's the Vivid KP, you know what I'm talking about, right? You know Dei-chan and how she works and how she just doesn't want to give up, and she doesn't care about the money and whatever. But I'm the publisher. I have to do the bookkeeping at the bottom of the line, really hard, chippy, brittle. When we're finished, it won't be pretty. It won't be pretty, but it'll be clear. Okay, back to the quieter work. Does the grain of the block change the way the printer approaches their printing? No, I can't say that at all. The grain really strongly affects the carver's job, the way we move the chisel. I mean, every stroke, it matters vividly where the grain is to the carver. To the printer, I can't see that it makes much difference at all. I know the grain direction on the plank, if we're doing a sky block and the grain is running up and down, it's difficult sometimes. If you press too hard, the grain shows and it doesn't look like a sky. But in terms of what's happening right here, it's difficult to cut when the grain goes X way or Y way. That's irrelevant to the printer. What's important to the printer is just the texture, the top surface of the wood. tough. Where to start? Just grab a corner. Is that the lady across the street sweeping? I don't know. Or is it the hotel people? Or would it be the coffee shop people? It's the, I can't see anybody sweeping. I can hear it, but I can't see it. There's these knots. This is the worst part here. I said we'd be finished this block today, not at this pace, not with this kind of wood. Seems quiet out there today. It's been actually the past couple of days have been quiet here in Asakusa. The 4-day long weekend we had at the end of last week, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, it was very, very busy. But now it seems to have quietened down quite a lot. Okay, we're clear. I was staring at Jed's and you and your team's cat prints. You mean the sushi cats, Karen-san? I'm not sure what you mean here. No, I don't have the numbers off the top of my head. I don't really know, but they're quite countable. Those prints are based on ukiyo-e type printing concepts. There's not too many color overlays on those things, the sushi cats and hanami cats. And you can pretty much, what you see is what you get on those. There's not so many overlays. The sushi one had many, many more, and I put my foot down. The hanami cats, so there's no way we could do that many blocks. And ramen cats will probably be even a bit fewer. They just went too far. I can't afford it. Okay, that area's done. That's one of the worst piece of wood block areas I've ever seen. I think probably years ago when I picked this block, I knew that would happen, but I don't have a whole big selection. There we are. That's clean and clear, and it will last 1,000 years. That's rock hard. The area, even boxwood is hard, but the area near the knots is really rock hard. That's for the ages, that one. Yeah, hanami has some overlays in the kimono. I don't know. I'm more and more separate from the actual production on those things. I didn't carve the blocks. I didn't do the printing, so I don't have a mental image of it. thought I heard a voice coming up the street. Too soon to show? No, too soon, too soon. I thought I heard Tommy coming. Did Dave ever answer on the paper? Coming around. Almost all just the back of this boy here now, and then it's the much wider work later. Did I already cut myself in these hard blocks? Not sure what you mean. I'm so good. Yeah, the suitcases on the wheels. I haven't heard that sound in a long, long time. You know. Homeless person, actually I can guess what's happened. That was a homeless person doing their, routine. They slept at a certain place, then spent the morning somewhere else, and sort of like that. But with the virus, that's it. The city has done what many cities have done, of course. They've got those people off the streets. And I guess, I really don't know what happened. I can guess what happened. For the past few years, because of the homeless here around Asakusa and Ueno Park and stuff, the city has set up various, what would you call them, hostels. Place where these people can get a bunk and a bed for the night. But of course, they're not so central. They're not here in downtown. They're out a little bit. And the city's got the little vans and trucks. Come on, jump in the truck. We'll take you out. You can sleep out there. And the homeless people don't want to go out there. They don't want to be isolated out in that area. So, but I imagine that once the virus thing hit, it became no longer an option. It was a question of get in the truck. I don't really know. I'm just thinking out loud what might have happened. But these days there are far, far fewer, if any, people camping out in the wild there in the streets behind the shop here. And I guess simply the city said, okay guys, that's the end of that. I don't know. But that's probably the story why we don't hear the person with the two suitcases. I see, I see, I see. Okay, this foot will do us. I think we are now, oh no, the head here. Once I got these two areas clear, the foot and the head here, later we still have to clear out more of the waste wood here so that the printing can be done. But as soon as I get this foot and head finished, we can do our first test print. The carving of the key block is at this area pretty much done, and as long as I don't mess up the area for the calligraphy here, we can do a test print. So give me a couple of minutes to finish off the head and foot zones here. Then we'll get some black pigment out and destroy this block. Destroy the clean, beautiful, bare wood appearance of it. It's a moment, each print, you know, I look forward to it to see how the thing's going to look, but always, oh, that beautiful wood gets all covered with black ink and can't be helped. We're not making blocks, we're making prints. This is hard stuff, I'll tell you, this is hard stuff. Take a picture first. You take the pictures. Take a picture with what? Have I done any wood carvings for final product? No, I just make prints. I have no specific interest in trying to make a wood carving. This is to make prints. This is a tool. I'm making a tool, actually. This is tool making in one sense. Okay, let's get the paper off it. It's a really soft brush. It's some kind of shoe brush, I think. I don't really know. Soft as possible, just enough to get the black, just enough to get the leftover paper off. Just water, no solvents, just water. It's just glue. The thing was pasted down with, it was pasted down originally with just a polyvinyl chloride glue, but weak. I didn't use the thing in a strong form. I moistened the block first, I mixed with water. So it was glued down with a weakened polyvinyl glue mix. There we are. See with those glasses, can't see without these glasses. Woodblock.com refused to connect. You need the it's set without the www. Should work actually. It might give you trouble because that's still not a secure site. The old website there is HTTP, not HTTPS. Okay, do we need some pictures? Nothing I do. I don't have a camera here, so I can't do anything with this. So there's our block. These black marks you're seeing, these are discolorations in the wood. That's not an actual knot, it's a black discoloration. This one is a knot. I had no choice. I shifted the picture around trying to find a place to fit. Now we will need more carving on this. We haven't seen the end of the carving because no matter how carefully I carve, no matter how well I sharpen the tools, it doesn't always slice the wood as neatly and as cleanly as possible. And wood being what it is, it does absorb moisture. So even though right now, having washed this already, some of these lines here and there may have actually swelled up a little bit. Maybe in some critical places, the nose or the eyes, whatever. So after doing the test printing, putting the pigment on and doing a test printing, we'll be able to see that. And I can't really trim too much of those areas today. Well, let's see. Let's try first. Test paper. What am I going to use for test paper? Just some scraps here and there. We're not using hand-dipped washi for our testing here. We're just going to... Yeah, the old woodblock.com is no secure server. There's a reason for it. Long story about that, but whatever. It's not HTTPS. Oh, my mother's here, is she? Good morning, good morning. Beautiful day, warm and sunny. Not for us yet. That's coming for us next week or so. Okay, here we go. Are you ready? We have a big dirty black brush and some black dirty pigment. Let's do this. Say goodbye to our pretty block. It's stiff. This is the stuff from the old party room. It's still sitting there. We haven't yet started the renovation, you know. Real work gets in the way. I've been busy with printmaking and checking prints and accounting. And Aoyama-san's been really busy with the tool project, the new tool project. And we're getting closer to the point where we're going to have stuff to show you. The brush has indeed seen better days. Many. This is a retired brush. It just sits on my bench here, and it now does just this job. It was a gorgeous, gorgeous brush from Sekine-san. He's long dead. It was my prime key block brush, and then I made a big mistake. I brought it here. Okay, let's use it for the print party. And didn't get around to getting another one, so this brush died a glorious death on the bench of the print party room. John, you've used this brush. If you've done the print party, you have used this brush. I hope you leave a nice ceiling. No, the ceiling is going to stay. Absolutely. We're not crazy. The ceiling is going to stay. The tatami is going to stay. The structure of the room will be the same. The shoji wall will be at the back. Simply the party bench, bang, out she comes. Okay, here we go. All set, guys? This is the point where I spray it on my shirt. I'm trying to remember here. Too watery, just wait a minute. It's not dead as you're still using it. I'm using it, but it doesn't actually work. It'll do this job, which is not careful work at all, but it's gone. It's gone. It's split. Clumps of hair have fallen out, and it's now so short that we've no longer get any room to put it on the shark skin. It's become too hard and crispy, and it needs to go on the shark skin, but simply there's no length left. It wore down in the party room. It wore down to a final frazzle. Too much water. Hang on a second. Here's our first impression. Oops. Look at this hair. Some of them are too long. We've got one super long hair in the middle here. That's going to have to come back. The eyes look okay, the expression looks all right. This boy looks like a boy doing what he's supposed to be doing. Some of these hairs look a bit hard. We can feather those off a little bit. The hand looks okay. Some of this is a bit thick. There's bits to trim. Look at this, the bottom of this cup here. It's a bit thick around here. Oops, I didn't quite get printed. Sorry about that. The toes, all the toes, are they okay? I don't know. We pretty much copied what we saw. Oh, look at this, too much water. There's a wet spot here, sorry. I'll print it again in a second, that's okay. What's happened here? Is that a gap? What was supposed to be there? Aha! Aha! Look at this. There was supposed to be something there. In all that confusion about pasting the head down, I guess I got confused about what should have gone and what should have stayed. We'll see what to do about that later. Is the boy's right foot too shallow? The boy's right foot. This boy's right foot, or this boy? Yeah, it does. Look at that. It's a very thin, flat-looking foot. Talk to the designer. Let's print it again here. Lift Boy's lips. No, the Lift Boy's lips are okay. Just a minute. I said there's too much water here. So hang on a sec. What you're seeing with the black blurriness here is a blob of water on the block. That's what I said. We're not quite ready for printing here. Too much water. Body shaming. I think this guy's okay. The face, I think, are all right. There's obviously going to be some touch-ups. Look at this. The eyebrow here is a bit too heavy and forked. It gives a black. So I'll cut the V up inside the eyebrow a bit more. Again, as I said, trim some of the hairs a bit. They're too hard at the ends. Trim this cup for sure. Other than that, I think we're there. Have to decide what to do about this. We could, when we make the color blocks, in fact, there's two ways to do this. I'm making a copy of a copy of a copy. So I have a pretty free hand at doing this. I could try and inlay a piece of wood here on this super hard boxwood and make a line in here. Or I'm thinking what I'll do instead is I'm just perhaps going to take this off and take this off. And I'm thinking it will look like a normal boy. Let's see if I can try and show you what I mean. If I took those away. If I took those away, I think we're okay. I think that's what I'll be doing. Can I talk about this in public? I don't know. It's okay. It's okay. Jed-san, don't look. Look the other way. Okay, what do you think? The water scoop edge. Let's have a look at this. The water scoop edge, where are we here? For sure, that part's too thick, absolutely. Again, maybe what we might have here too is a bit of hardness in the wood that's printing darker, if it's possible. This one looks like a little bit maybe to come out. You say we won't tell a soul, I shouldn't even admit this. I know. Whatever, years and years and years ago in my newsletter, when I was doing the poet series, I wrote a story about just that thing that we're talking about right now. A young carver, it was Dave. He was whatever, Remember, I didn't have a teacher. I had nobody to guide me. I wasn't the apprentice of anybody. It was all on my own doing. And I wrote a story in the newsletter one day. I think I called it I Hear Voices. It's over on the woodblock.com website somewhere. And I remember really thinking seriously about this. It would be easy to get into a sort of a carefree attitude to this. It's okay, whatever, nobody will notice. It's okay. And I thought about that quite a lot, and how strict should I be with myself, And I wrote a story about this. There was 3 or 4 episodes. One was a leaf. I was carving some image with trees and whatever, and I slipped and knocked off a leaf. And long story short, I actually did. I went back, cut a piece of wood, put it in, fixed it, put the leaf in, and in reality, nobody would ever have noticed. And I did it. I'm not trying to praise myself here. I did it because I was trying to practice how to fix blocks. And second, as I wrote in that story, I was trying to imagine that I was working in an old workshop, that I had been allowed to get in there in one corner and work. And these super good, powerful, wonderful craftsmen all around me. I was trying to drink in that mood, which of course didn't exist, you know. So I wrote the story called I Hear Voices. And I made up the story that Dave knocks off the leaf and says, that's okay, no one's going to notice, he's going to continue. And it turned out the guy was watching over my shoulder, and he started screaming, what the do you think you're doing? What the blah, blah, blah. You think you're so good you can change the design, whatever, blah, blah. I don't remember the exact words. It's in the story there from 25 years ago in the newsletter. I Hear Voices. Long story short, I fixed it. And I fixed it because it was a question of, you know, it's the Steve Jobs old story, the back of the cabinet that nobody will see. You still try and make it good and whatever, all that kind of stuff, you know. Some of that's pretension, some of it is practicality, some of it is a personal pride. It's a real mix of a lot of different things. So I've just basically admitted to you guys right now on stream, on live camera, that I'm not going to do what I did 25 years ago. I am actually going to trim that off, and we're going to go ahead with this thing. Does it mean I've lost my touch? Does it mean I'm no longer proud of my work? Does it mean I don't care about the back of the cabinet? I think it means I'm busy. I've got a lot of things to do here. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. I don't know what you're talking about here. I've missed some of your part. I've been chatting myself. First proof print part 4.7. Oh, you've been clipping this thing, have we? So whatever. I'll pick it up later. I'll try and read it later. So whatever. Does it become so Sokohanga then? So I guess so. Original prints. So. Okay, let's see. We've got to trim a few of these places, right? For that, I will need the scope. Absolutely. Let's see. Let's get zoomed in. Hang on. Now, it's going to be more difficult, of course, for you guys to see what's going on here because it is now black. Now what's going on? It's moving by itself. What? Just a minute, what's it doing? We have ghosts in the tripod. Excuse me a second, what's happening here? The cable is pulling it. Okay. Visit the grave, Dave. What's the connection? This is not Hokusai, by the way, this picture. This is Kiyonaga. Okay, first thing up. We thought there was some crap. I know some carving, some wood left over in the middle of this cup. It turns out it's a little bit right here. It's not cleaned off. It's hair. Look, it's paper. It's just junk inside there. Now what to do with that super thick part here? Let's look at this. There's the thick part of the cup. And let's look at the original and compare, because it could be that that's just what it's supposed to look like. Let's have a look. No, the cup is not. It looks straight and clean. There should be no funny thick parts. Although, honestly speaking, his top edge was pretty rough, you know. Just get squeezed together here. Nothing to write home about there. This was a small, simple, casual job. Okay. It's too thick on the outside edge on the bottom side of the ladle. About time for Tommy, is it? If he comes, who knows? I'm beginning to think that theory of same time every day was just a flash in the pan. It was a coincidence, I think. We'll see. I think everybody's listening. I'm listening. Is he going to come down the street? I don't hear anything. I think it's not going to happen. Dave, check out the pourer's left eye. We have hours of work to do on this. I'm going to go over the whole thing, but let's have a look. The pourer's left eye. You mean as compared with the original, or that's too small? Right eye. There's a speck, what we've got here, what I see here, there's a speck of sumi below the eye, making it look bigger. Let's see what that is. There's a speck of sumi on the bridge of his nose. Oops, look at this. There it is. It's loose, actually. No, there's nothing there. It's okay. The boy's eyebrow now. The other boy's eyebrow. Sure it needs something here. This is too thick and too evil. Just cut a bit more inside this V, I think. No, where do we start? These long hairs? Where was that super long hair that needs to be trimmed down? Which boy was that? Oh, this guy. There's one long hair sticking down over his forehead. It's way too fat and way too long. Oh, you can see it right there. So here we go. So that's it for the next few hours of work on this block. This is what it'll be. It'll just be going over line by line, having a look at this and that. Some of them it's quite clear, some of the hairs are wiggly, so just taper them down. Don't overdo it, because the thing actually looks okay now, but it needs a little bit of touch up here and there, here and there, here and there. Then what we'll do, it's okay actually now for moving on to the next step. So before the next stream, today's Thursday, before Saturday, I will prepare some of the transfer paper. And probably on next Saturday, on the next stream on Saturday then, what we'll do is we will print this onto multiple sheets of the transfer paper and start to create some of the color blocks for this, even though the calligraphy is not done. As long as I leave that area safe and blank, it's okay. So we'll start the color process, the color transfer process, in the next stream. Okay, what's left here? We have 15 minutes left, and there's a ton of stuff. I'm not going to be able to get through it all. There's 3 packages to open. I got yesterday's update. I guess people are asking, I saw earlier in the stream, people are asking about my eyes and stuff. We'll talk about that before we leave. But right now, let's look at some goodies. Let's shrink down this one. You got all day, all night. I have 5,000 things on my desk here waiting to be done, And not to play the "oh, I'm so busy" deal, but I am so busy, whatever. So I'm still, so many of the jobs here, I'm still the key man. They can't do their work until it goes through me, It's still, we've got to get away from that. Here's the tool delivery to show. Okay, 3 packages. Number 1, I'll turn off the outside mic here because the guy outside is going to start delivering something here. Outside mic going down. Okay, here we are. A couple of small things. This was on open auctions. Yahoo Auctions the other night. Cheap, cheap, cheap. Not many people bid on it. A couple of people wanted it, but I would have liked it for our collection. So here we go. What we have here what I hope we have here. Here we go. Folded. Did he fold them for shipping? My God, if he did, I'll send him the worst review he's ever had. Did he fold them for shipping? Anyway, let's have a look. We have 3 items here. We have one. Start with this one. This is actually, it's a little classic. It's a minor classic. The signature, Zeshin. And whether or not he actually saw an elephant, I don't know. But he was noted for doing his surimono type prints. He's got a whole series of prints like this. He was actually a lacquer artist, and he's sidelined in making designs for woodblock prints. And I'd heard about this one. I'd heard that he had done an elephant type surimono, but I'd never seen it before. And here it is. And let's get it out of here. And we're looking at, this will be about 100 years ago. It's about Taisho, something like that. He did a series of these. Look at these claws. Do elephants have claws? No idea. So you know, John, you had claws. Yes. So, do we have anything by Goyo Hashiguchi? We opened one on the stream last week. We have tons of we have everything Hashiguchi ever made in terms of the reproduction editions. But do I have any of his originals from Taisho era? That's out of my pay grade. No. Okay, this is a little bit of nothing. It's a series that somebody picked up from Zeshin Designs. Most of them are small. They're cats and dogs and stuff like that. But there's this elephant. No idea why they would have published this, but there it is. And you can see there's lots of kasure bori. You heard me talking about that a while ago. Scratch brush carving. This is not ukiyo-e type work. And what they've done here is the carver has scratched and scratched and scratched his lines to make it look like it's actual brush strokes from a Japanese ink brush. The ink brush will dip in the ink, give a rich black at the top, and then as it runs out of ink, it gets more scratchy. And this has all been carved in imitation of that. There's 2 names for it. One is kasure bori and one is sabi bori. Kasure is literally scratched. It's scratch carving, or sabi boring. Sabi, wabi-sabi, I guess. I don't know the origin of that. I don't know which kanji they use for it. It wouldn't be rust. Sabi is rust also. It wouldn't be rust carving. Anyway, for us, we call it kasure bori. Okay, let's put that aside. And the other one that was on the same auction, this is simple little stuff from the same era. These are casual little woodblock prints. It's all daily life stuff. Nothing to be specially collectible. So we get very few of these left over. These are fan prints. And they would have been, most of them, they would have been made and pasted on a fan and disposed of. This is the kind of fan, not the a round kind of summer fan we use. This is the Sensu, the folding fan, the one that folds up and folds open and folds up. And these are prints that would have been made in the many hundreds and thousands and would have been pasted on fans. And I'm going to have to get these, throw them under water, soak them and flatten them. Somebody somewhere along the line has folded them. What are the designs? It's a bamboo flute. Look at this. It's a music-related design. So we have a bamboo flute, and we have, recognize these? Are we zoomed in any further? Can we get any further in? It's a folding fan. Yeah, that's right. Considering it was designed to be made and then folded, I guess I can't really complain. They are indeed. They're finger picks for koto. So we have some kind of Japanese fue, a flute, and we have finger picks for a koto. So there's a musical motif here. Any deeper meaning than that, I really don't know. And what's the other one? What's our motifs here? This is a hyotan, a gourd, and it looks like it's been one that has been used to store water. I'm guessing this is a water gourd A monkey mask. What is this? A stick for hitting or a fishing line? Is this an actual old-time hat? You tell me. What's the key to all these 5 objects? No idea. No idea. I'm sure there's something. Again, unidentified, perhaps a hat, perhaps a stand, a gourd for storing liquid, a monkey mask, and a bamboo rod. What's the $64,000 question? What's the common item to all of these? I don't know. Anyway, here we go. Just very nice things, casual things. Stuff like this goes dirt cheap on Yahoo Auction. It goes like for 500, 600 yen. Very few people want them. We're happy to pick them up and put them in our collection. It's not great art, but when you're here sometime in the future and you're sitting looking at these things under the nice light, they are just so beautiful. So beautiful. For me, that's the key point about woodblock prints. Casually made, easily made, not pretentious, and just simply richly beautiful. Next up, it says from the Netherlands. This is from Jacques, who, if he has stayed up late tonight, he is here with us. If he's gone to bed instead, then he'll be seeing this through the stream. He has sent something. I have no idea what it is. Over the years, Jacques has been a regular. Well, he was a customer originally, then a collector, and then a friend. He's been back and forth. We've seen each other many, many times. He's a good friend. There's another friend, Serge, nearby in France. And the three of us, Jacques in Holland, Serge in France, we have a plan for a summit one day. We will have a summit. And we've sent each other books and stuff, and Jacques it feels like a book. So Jacques has found a book that he thinks will be of interest to us. Let's have a look and see. He was here, still signed in. Jacques, say hello, please. Is it okay to open this in public? I guess, I don't know. It could be something. I don't think he's going to send something private. He would let me know if that was the case. What is this? I don't read Dutch, but I can read enough. Neko, we know what that means. Die kat. Okay, this is Dutch, so I can't do this. Die kat in die Japans kunst. It's right, ja, het is zo. Die kat in de Japans kunst. In Holland. Yes, we can get it. I think everybody can understand what this means. The cat in Japanese art. What's happening? There's a museum. The Siebold, the famous. There's this guy from Holland. He was back here. He was here in Japan long before Japan was open. One of the earliest visitors. He was interested in natural stuff, natural history. He collected plants and trees and plants and stuff, but also collected a bunch of Japanese art and took it back. And that stuff, I guess, now is resident in Holland somewhere. And this looks like Japan Museum Siebold House. So they're having an exhibition of what? Of the cat in Japanese art. I'm too late with my own cats. Jacques, thank you, sir. This looks like fun. I had no idea this was happening, this exhibition was happening. Here I am publishing my own new series of cats in Japanese art. Maybe they'll do volume 2. What's that monster? Oh, good. English text as well. Thank you, the Dutch Museum. And there we have. Here we are. Let's zoom in a bit. You can read it as well as I can. I don't need to read it out to you. There. It should have had, at the bottom, it should have had the new 8 Cats series. Oh well, it can't be helped. If I had got my act together and got that series up and running. So I guess what we have, I suppose, yes. I mean, you've seen many of the prints I've opened and shown you have had cats inside, you know. Cats have been a thing. Suzuki Harunobu. Lots of texture, lots of discussion. Looks cool. I have no idea if it's available online. Women and their cats. I guess they want Shinhanga as well, yes, of course. Kuniyoshi and the Transformation of the Cat. These guys are serious. This looks like a very, very cool selection, an overview of just exactly what it says. It looks like you get exactly what it says on the tin. Cats in ukiyo-e. The other famous series, of course. The cat's bathhouse. This is fun. I've never seen this before, ever. Morning, naked cats coming. Cool. Evil and mischievous cats. Yeah, the very, very famous one, of course, of course, of course. I should be letting you guys see what's happening. This looks cool. This looks really nice. Jacques, if you're here, well, thank you very, very much. I'll write to you, of course. The cat in folk art. Maneki Neko, of course. Netsuke. Netsuke cats. This looks really fun. Human cat or cat human. Anthropomorphism. Well, looks like this is not ukiyo-e era. So they've come right to the modern era. I see. A Neko project. Japanese photographers were invited to participate in a photography project on the theme of cats. Professional jury, blah, 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 blah. With this rich material, a cat photo book was published and a number of exhibitions were held in France and Belgium. So it's just whatever. It's photographs of cats. That's not so much of interest to me, whatever. Anyway, hey, cool. Jacques-san, thank you very, very much. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. For those of you who might want to be interested, let's see. Does it have an ISBN number? Etc., etc. Hang on a sec. Maybe it's just an exhibition catalog, so it's perhaps not publicly available. I don't see a copyright page. Ooh, oh, here we are. Here we are. It does. It's got an ISBN. Okay. Can you get the information here? There we are. Just let me find a place with a light shines. There we go. Have you got it? There's an ISBN, a publisher, and a www number. So whether they have a bookshop or not, I don't know. Looks good. There's no price on it. No idea. Jacques-san, thank you very much. Good, 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 good. Look at that, I was typing. Okay. Hey, nice way to end the stream here today. Good, good, good. Die Cat in die Japans Kunst. Hi. You should have an update video on Neko Hake. No, I know I should have an update video. I know I should have an update video. I should have a lot of things done. The next video in the beginning series, the next YouTube David's Choice video, the next work. Again, that's the problem, Today I'm going to spend the rest of the day. I got to check all those prints you just saw. There's another box of Ukiyo-e Heroes turtles just arrived. I've got to check all those. More sizing this afternoon. Another batch of Great Wave sizing has to be done tonight. Whatever. When it rains, it pours. When it rains, it pours. Okay. Thanks, guys. Saturday morning, we will see the first step in the color transfers. Okay, I'll be making some blank Kyogo Zuri paper for the 2-layer paper. I'll be printing the black, and we'll do our first attempt. Excuse me. We'll have our first attempt at making some color separations for that. Oh, the eye thing. Nay, I had an examination yesterday. Whatever. Let's talk about it on Saturday. I'm going to live. It's okay. I'm going to live. I know. Whatever. I'm going to live. And no medication necessary at the moment, it seems. Whatever, it's a story. Let's talk about it on Saturday. But anyway, for those who are concerned about it, nothing has changed. I have a long-term problem, but I don't have a short-term problem. We'll talk about it later. See you on Saturday. Thanks very much.